I've spent over $1 million in marketing, including pay-per-lead services, and I'm going to tell you something that most people won't. PPL isn't a scam, but it's also not what you think it is. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly when PPL does make sense and when it's just burning your money. If you've ever thought about buying leads instead of generating them yourself, this video is for you. I'm going to break down the real pros and cons, not the guru version, designed to sell you an affiliate link. This is the version that I learned after spending hundreds of thousands of dollars across 8 different PPL providers and scaling it to over 380 markets as a real estate investor. And I'll share a mistake that I made early on something that cost me way more than it should have. Here's what we're covering. First, what PPL actually is, because most people get this wrong. Second thing we're going to be covering is the 3 real advantages of PPL and even things that the haters have to admit. The third thing that we're covering is the 2 major downsides that nobody talks about. And fourth, when PPL totally makes sense for your situation. And then we're going to wrap it up with point number 5, when you should run the other direction. Let's get into it. All right, so PPL stands for pay per lead. You pay a company, usually a flat fee, somewhere between $75 and $300, and they send you a motivated seller lead. Sounds simple, but here's where people get confused. PPL is not the same as PPC. With PPC, which stands for pay-per-click, you're paying for ads. You own the campaign, you control the keywords, and the quality gets better over time as you optimize it. With PPL, you're buying a finished product. Someone else ran the ads. Someone else generated the campaign and the keywords, and now they're selling you what came out the other end. And that difference matters way more than most people will realize. And I'll explain everything about that in a minute. I'm gonna be honest with you first though. I actually like PPL in certain situations. Here's why. There's several advantages. Advantage number 1 is there's no media buyer drama. Okay, when you buy PPL, you don't have to hire a media buyer. You don't have to manage the ad campaigns. You don't have to learn Google ads or Facebook ads. All the people buying leads from PPL, from the PPL companies, they're splitting the cost of like 1 or maybe 2 marketing managers. And those folks are running all the ads for everybody in the company. So that's super efficient, right? Advantage number 2 for PPL is that there is like a toggle on-off switch. And this is huge if you have a W-2 job. I want you to think about this. If you work 9 to 5, you can't answer a seller that calls you at 2 p.m. on Tuesday, right? If you're running direct mail doesn't care about your schedule. Neither does PPC. Those leads come in wherever they come in. But with PPL, you log into your computer when you're ready. You buy leads when you can work them. And when you're busy, you just turn it off. And so for somebody who has limited hours, that flexibility is certainly worth something. Advantage number 3, speed to lead, okay? Here's a stat that should scare you. If you don't contact a lead within 5 minutes, you are 100 times less likely to connect with them. 100 times. With PPL, you can be on the phone with a seller within minutes of them raising their hand. And that speed to lead is a huge advantage. Now, here's where most PPL videos just stop. They tell you it's great. They drop you an affiliate link and then they move on. But I have legitimately spent over $1 million testing this stuff. So let me tell you what they are not going to tell you. There's some downsides. So downside number 1, your cost per lead is way higher. Let's do some math. With PPC, I can generate a motivated seller lead for $30 to $66 in most markets, okay? Sometimes less after optimization. With PPL, I'm paying $150, sometimes $300 per lead, sometimes $400 or $500 in super competitive markets, okay? You are paying a huge premium for convenience. And that's fine if you understand the trade-off. Now, downside number 2 is your quality never improves. This is the big one. When I run PPC, I own the campaign. Every week, my media buyer is looking at the data. Which keywords convert? Which ones are wasting money? What landing page works the best, right? And then over time, my cost per lead actually goes down and my quality goes up because I'm reallocating those costs to things that work better and the machine is getting smarter. With PPL, the quality is whatever it is. You can't optimize it. You can't improve it. You're not in control, okay? You are buying from a static pool. And here's what's worse. As more investors pile in to PPL, price goes up, but the quality is always going to stay the same. And that's a trade-off that nobody explains. Okay, so who should actually use PPL? There's 4 situations where you should use PPL. Number 1, obviously, if you have a W-2, you have limited hours, that on-off switch, that toggle, totally worth the premium. Number 2, if you're testing a new market, I want you to do this before spending thousands of dollars on PPC, on direct mail. Just test it with PPL. PPL is going to let you dip your toe in and make it far less expensive. Number 3, if you already have a working business and you just want to add some volume really quick, PPL can be an just awesome supplement for your existing marketing. And number 4, when the math works, okay? If a PPL lead costs you $300 per lead, and you close, say, 1 in 10, that's $3,000 cost per deal, and your average assignment fee is $15,000, you're still profitable. That's a 5x ROAS, return on ad spend. Just know that your margins are thinner than if you were doing your marketing yourself. Now, here's when you should avoid PPL. Number 1 is if you have more time than you have money. You have more time than you have money. If you're just starting out and you can grind, dude, cold calling, driving for dollars, even bandit signs cost almost nothing. This is far better than PPL for you. Number 2 is if you want a real business, PPL is not for you. PPC and SEO gets you better over time. You own these assets. With PPL, you don't own it, you're renting it. Okay? Number 3, you're in a less competitive market. Guys, if you're in a less competitive market, if you can generate leads yourself, why pay the premium? And number 4, you picked the wrong company. Because here's the elephant in the room. Some PPL companies are legit, and some will take your money and just give you garbage, okay? So watch for these red flags. I'm gonna give you a couple red flags. Number 1 red flag is big upfront fees. If there's a PPL company and they want $1,500 before you see a single lead, run, I'm out. Number 2 is if there's no refund policy. These legit companies will refund your leads that aren't actually motivated sellers. Number 3 is the biggest one. Fake exclusivity. If they are selling exclusive leads just for you, right? Exclusive leads for $50, dude, those leads are going to 5 other investors too. They are not just selling them to you. Real exclusive leads are going to cost you like $150, $300 minimum. And maybe even bigger than that. The biggest red flag is if that PPL company also wholesales in your market. Being straight with you. That means that they see every single lead before you do, and they cherry pick the best ones. So here's the bottom line. PPL is not a scam, but it's not a shortcut either. It's going to work best when you understand exactly what you're buying, which is convenience and speed, in exchange for higher costs and no optimization. Now, if you have limited time and the math works, PPL can be a really, really solid piece of your marketing mix. But if you are building for the long term, really recommend that you invest in PPC or SEOs because those assets compound over time. And truthfully, after spending over $1 million testing every marketing channel, that's my honest answer. If this helped you think about marketing a little bit differently, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, let me know what channels you've tested. I read every single one.